I found my girlfriend and her ex in my apartment. When I kicked him out, she said I embarrassed her. So I turn up a notch by letting her out as well. Now she's begging to be back. I live in a big city in my own apartment. My girlfriend, Lily, lives with her roommates, but if I'm being honest, she basically lives over here 80% of the time. Early today while I was at the gym with my friend Mike, she texted me that she had an old friend she hasn't seen in a while that's in town and that it would be nice to have a quiet place to catch up. I said they could use my apartment and that I'd go out for dinner with Mike so they'd have time to catch up. During this time, I was at the gym, so I was in a rush. I didn't ask who she was inviting over. ETA. Well, apparently, I should have, as the old friend she was apparently catching up with alone in my apartment was her only ex-boyfriend Kyle. Around 30-ish minutes after this conversation, I got a text from her saying they're at the apartment. I just said bet, and continued with my friend. Mike and I finished our workout around 7 p.m. and decided we'd go to Whole Foods as their hot salad bars got some great food. We ate there and finished around 8:30. I was on my way home now and honestly wasn't expecting anything other than just saying hi and heading to bed. It had been a long day, and I was just ready to get some sleep. I arrived home around 9 p.m., and at this point, I had no idea if her friend was still over or not. I was secretly hoping they weren't, as I didn't feel like socializing at all. But hey, I'll take one for the team. When I walked into the apartment, I saw some big Timberland boots that were obviously a man's. Immediately, I thought, if her friend brought her boyfriend, I'm going to have to stay up and socialize now. I took off my shoes and jacket and started heading down the mini hallway. As I entered the living area, I saw my girlfriend sitting on the couch with a man at separate ends but staring right at each other, talking. My girlfriend noticed me and jumped a little. I didn't really find this odd at the time, but now, thinking back on it, it makes sense. At this point, I was still completely oblivious. I said hello and started walking towards the man while looking around the house. At this point, I thought her friend was in the bathroom or something. I shook the guy's hand and said something like, "Hey, I'm Lily's boyfriend." He replied back in a cocky way, "I'm Kyle, Lily's ex." I was like, "Oh, my fault, I thought you were her friend's boyfriend." Then it got a little quiet, and I rapidly came to the realization that my girlfriend had been alone with her ex in my apartment for the last couple of hours. I looked at my girlfriend and said, "So, I'm guessing this was your old friend?" She said, "Yeah," in a soft voice. At this point, I wasn't letting myself jump to any conclusions, but I was tired and didn't feel like socializing. I was also now upset that my girlfriend was just chilling with her ex in my apartment. It got quiet again, and these two made zero effort to continue whatever conversation they were having just moments ago. Lily asked how my day was, and I was like, "It was fine, I guess." Again getting the vibe I was interrupting something. At this point, I was fed up. Only like a minute or so had passed since my question to her. I looked at him and asked, "Kyle, hey, do you mind ending it here for today? I actually got some things I got to talk to Lily about." He said, "But she invited me over though, and we're still reminiscing on the good old days." I looked at Lily. She couldn't even look me in the eyes. I looked back at Kyle and said, "Alright, let me rephrase that. This is my apartment, and I'm telling you to leave." He then looked at her and said, "Do you want me to leave?" At this point, and I'm not proud of it, I completely lost it, saying, "What the fuck do you mean by that? I don't give a crap if she wants you to leave or not. I'm telling you to get the fuck out of my house." Lily was telling me to calm down and turned to tell him he needed to leave. Kyle got up and headed towards the hallway to get his stuff. I followed, and he ended up leaving. I came back, and Lily was now pissed at me, saying I embarrassed her. "I embarrassed you?" She then went on about how my reaction was totally uncalled for as she had told me he was coming over. I said, "No, Lily, you said a friend was coming over." "A fucking friend. Not once did you mention this friend was a male, much less your fucking ex." She then said my reaction was nonsense and that I acted like an ass. I told her, "You were with your fucking ex in my apartment. Do you not understand how much of a fuck you that comes across as?" I then asked why the fuck they were meeting in the first place. She told me he's going through rough times and needed someone to lean on, and she just wanted to be there for him as he's a nice person. She said that by hanging with him in my apartment, it showed nothing shady was going on. I explained how that's nonsense and that if my ex started having issues and I was the one comforting her, she'd be pissed. She was like, "No, I'd understand because I have empathy." I said, "That's nonsense, Lily. You got pissed at me at the gym because I smiled when a girl complimented my form while lifting." She then was like, "I'm done talking," and stormed out. I didn't say anything. I didn't chase her. I haven't reached out. I just sat on the couch and thought about what the fuck just happened. I then called my father, who gave me some great advice. She texted me 2 hours ago. Can we talk? I'm sorry for not telling you it was my ex that I invited over. I don't want you to get the wrong idea. Nothing happened, nothing is going to happen. I love you. He messaged me out of the blue. He needed someone to talk to. I didn't think that much of it. I'm sorry for deceiving you. That sounds like BS, right? I didn't think much of it, followed by, sorry for deceiving you. Like, obviously, you did think about it, or you would have been truthful. I wanted to talk to him at your place because I didn't want you to assume something else was going on. Please talk to me. I love you. Obliviously, if she sees this, she'll know I'm talking about us, but she doesn't use Reddit. I haven't responded yet. I'm leaning towards wanting to break things up with her after talking about all this with my pops, not for her talking to him, but for how I felt in the moment it all was happening. It's a huge red flag for me that she said old friend, instead of ex. I still don't get it. From the moment of me getting visibly upset with her ex, she didn't take my side once. When I was nice before I even recognized him, it felt like I was the odd man out. I just felt like she doesn't respect me, not on some 1950s crap where the woman has to respect the man, but if the roles were reversed and I was with my ex at her house, I would have backed my girl when she was getting mad. I would have called my ex out for talking cocky to my girl. ETA. I'm still very pissed, so I don't think I should be talking to her right now. It's currently around 3 a.m. Honestly, I'm just effing tired. I don't even know if I'm pissed. Edit 1. It's currently 12:44 p.m. It's already been a long effing day and will continue to be a long effing day. I've seen your comments. I'll update tonight or tomorrow, depending on what the F ends up fully playing out. It's been a Hofsass level of a day so far. I'm on like 3 hours of sleep. T.S. I added paragraphs. This whole writing was just me typing the words from thoughts last night. I had no idea so many would view this. Relevant comments. The only currency in a relationship is trust, and she broke it. From this point on, every single time, regardless of how secure you are in yourself, there will be that question. Is she telling the truth? Who is she with at her roommate's apartment? Did they F in mine? Let me elaborate. First red flag. She lied by omitting the truth, and she knows that she was wrong because she couldn't look you in the eye even before the escalation. Second red flag, Kyle doesn't sound, based on how you describe the situation, like someone having a rough time, and even less like a nice guy. More lies, in my opinion. Him being cocky is a sign that he feels like he is in the dominant position, which implies that she has shown him some type of affection. Nobody is this cocky or arrogant on enemy territory. This is probably the biggest sign for me. Third red flag. Her immediate reaction was to gaslight you and make it somehow your fault. More toxic behavior. Fourth red flag. The sheer amount of disrespect to bring her ex into your home when you're not around. Fifth red flag. It took her 2+ hours to realize she fucked up. Really? Or was she out and about with Kyle? That's the biggest issue. From this point on, the lack of trust, regardless of whether it's justified or not, will be ever present in this relationship. Sorry, my friend, but you're effectively single. Leave before you become a doormat, if it's not already too late. You deserve better, and there are better ones out there. Good luck. While this isn't even red flags, this is just 100% red. So many boundaries crossed. And what an idiot this guy is, to be asking her if he should leave your apartment. This is around the time I'd either be kicking her to the curb or installing cameras. Your girl is shady as F and is disrespecting so many boundaries. If something hasn't already happened, then it's about to. Rough times and someone to lean on. Sounds like the start of about 60% of infidelity stories I see on Reddit. She lied by omission. Flip the situation. The GF would be livid too. Her ex in your apartment equals no respect for your living space, no respect for you. Her actions show what she thinks of you. Some people enjoy this kind of drama in their relationships. She put her ex's comfort before your comfort, knowledge, consent, etc. Sorry, but what she did is so crappy. Update. This crap is long. I doubt you actually want to read it all. Sorry, I just poured my thoughts into it. It's currently around 7 p.m. when writing this, and honestly, the last 13ish hours I've been up have been effing draining, to say the least. I awoke in the morning to my phone going absolutely nuts with notifications from Reddit. I'm honestly like, oh fuck, why the actual fuck did I decide to pour my personal thoughts out into a Reddit post? I began to scroll through y'all's comments, and to say I was shocked is an absolute understatement. Literally almost all of y'all are actively taking my side. I mean, I was just scrolling this morning, just looking for that one comment that was taking hers. It did not come. What surprised me the most were the number of women in this thread that said they would never do this to their man and that it is beyond disrespectful. I mean, those comments hit the hardest this morning, as those were my thoughts exactly. Last night was a fing stress storm for me, to be honest. I couldn't believe what the F had just happened. As y'all can guess from my post, I live alone, so there wasn't anyone at my crib that I could talk to. So I decided to call the one man that's had my back since day one. My pops. As many have messaged me and many have commented, I will go into detail on what exactly our phone call entailed. First, I'm going to go back to when it originally happened so that it makes more sense. Also, when reading back my thoughts from last night, it was clear I was rushing at the end and honestly just fed up with everything at that point, so I skipped a lot of details. Okay, to start, Lily had just stormed out of my apartment at this point when I called her out, saying that she wouldn't be effing okay with me meeting with my ex because they needed someone to lean on. Like I said before, I didn't call, text, or follow her at this point. I am effing furious, and I can't believe what the fuck just happened. I take a seat on the couch and try breathing exercises. I am trying to calm down, but it's no use because I keep remembering Kyle asking, "Do you want me to leave?" to my girlfriend. I didn't really elaborate on this beforehand, but that crap effing sent me to another world, and I was absolutely about to lose my crap to the max. I just kept telling myself, it's not worth it, it's not worth it, it's not worth it. At this point, all I want to do is beat Kyle's ass, and all my methods for calming down were failing. At this point, I just said, F it, and picked up my phone and said, "Siri, call old man." I honestly didn't know what I was going to say at this point, but I knew if there was one person who could get through to me, it would be my pops. Now, I don't remember the exact dialogue that went down, but I'm going to try my best to be as accurate as possible. Phone dialing. Dad picks up and says, "I seen it already, F their ass." I started laughing a bit and said, "It's not about that, Dad. I just got into a huge effing fight with Lily, Dad. I'm really effing pissed, Dad. I don't want to do anything stupid." Whoa, okay. Where are you right now? Are you with her? Are you guys okay? Dad, I'm at the crib right now, and she just stormed out. Yes, I am chilling. I just don't know what to do. There's a long pause after this, and I hear my pops take a deep breath and say, all right. Hit me." I began to give him the same rundown I gave you guys in my last post. The whole time, my pops is dead silent, doesn't say a effing word. I finished up the story. All he asked was, "What does Kyle look like?" I won't lie, this caught me off guard because I was like, damn, Dad, why the fuck does it matter what he looks like? I responded, "I don't know. He was white with long curly hair, etc." Why? My dad was like, no, how tall was he? At this point, I'm like, WTF, Dad? I don't know. His ass was like 5 feet 9 inches, max. My dad laughs a bit and says, explains the Timberlands, then. Fucking male equivalent of heels. I didn't realize it yesterday, but what my pops was doing was what he always does. I literally can't stay pissed if I laugh, and my dad can make me laugh on demand. I started laughing. I was like, you right. He then was like, how much you think he weighed? I had to think for a minute, but I was like, him? Maybe $155. My pops then brought up the argument between Kyle and me. You said Lily told Kyle to leave after you started to get mad, right? Yeah, I responded. My dad pauses for a long time again and takes another deep breath. My name, I wouldn't be surprised if this situation is a lot deeper than it seems. It speaks volumes to me that she only rallied for him to leave after you began to get real upset. My name, you are 6'0", 190 pounds, and were just disrespected in your own house by a man you do not know. When a woman cares for someone, the last thing she wants is for him to be in harm's way. She understood exactly what was going to happen if the situation continued to escalate, and she chose to get Kyle out of harm's way, followed by switching all the blame to you and leaving. Honestly, son, where do you think she's at right now? I didn't say anything. I knew what he was implying. I know it hurts, but promise me you won't do anything irrational. She made her decision. There's not much you can do to change it. You've proven your whole life you're one of one. Don't lose yourself now over something that will just end up a tiny bump on your roadmap. I mean, seriously, I couldn't be more effing proud of you, son. You're 22, living on your own in the city. You got your crap together. That's rare, my name. You're rare, my name. The right woman, like your mom for me, I laughed a little, will walk into your life when you least expect it. Don't waste your energy. Everything happens for a reason, son. I paused for a minute and said, Thank you. I needed this, Dad. My dad laughed. Of course. Your mom and I are here for you always. NS call. Fast forward back to this morning. I couldn't sleep for crap last night, so this morning was just completely sass. Lily was blowing up my phone the whole night, apologizing and begging for my forgiveness. It's around 11 a.m. at this point, and I'm completely just over this situation. I still haven't responded to her since she stormed off last night. In my opinion, she made her choice. However, I've got a long sass week ahead of me and can't let this crap continue to impact me this much going forward. I eat something and head down to my apartment's local gym to just run. On lifting days, I go to a private gym, and on cardio days, I use the apartment's gym. Running is therapeutic for me. Around 1 o'clock, I got a phone call, and you guessed it, it was from Lily. No part of me wanted to pick up the phone, but we've been dating for 2.5 years, so I felt obligated. Picks up phone. What's up? I say, to be immediately met with crying. I'm sorry, my name. I love you to death. Please, just talk to me. I shouldn't have left last night. I panicked. You know I love you, my name. I didn't say anything. My name, please talk to me. This isn't right. Please, just talk to your girlfriend. I'm sorry. I told you nothing happened. I won't ever talk to him again. Please, I beg you, can we just talk? At this point, the realization of my feelings for her started to really kick in. Instead of anger, sorrow, or any emotion, TBH, I just felt a sense of indifference when she spoke. I responded, can you come over around 3? Still crying at this point, she says, yes, 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 yes. Okay, I say, and end the call. I'm just sitting on the sofa now at this time, just waiting for 3 to roll around, scrolling through the comments on my previous post. Knock, knock, I hear from the hallway. Shortly after, I see my girlfriend emerge from the mini hallway. She begins to start smiling and crying while wiping her tears. Again, I take notice of how I feel at this moment, a sense of indifference, a feeling I don't care about anymore. It really started to hit me. 2.5 years wasted just like that. The woman who I cared so deeply for just 24 hours before is now in front of me, crying, and I don't feel a thing. Lily, it's over between us, I said, completely shocked. She barely manages to mutter out, what? While still crying. It's over, I repeated. My name, she says multiple times. No, no, no. Please, I'm sorry. Don't end this between us. I love you to death, she said hysterically. Now, I won't lie, that last bit hit hard. I mean effing hard, man. I couldn't mask it anymore. The lid had been broken. Don't end this between us, she said. I said, Lily, I'm sorry. I can't take this crap anymore. I don't know what impression I gave you over our relationship, but I won't stay in a relationship with a woman who thinks that effing little of me. You made the decision to end crap between us when you invited your ex into my apartment behind my effing back, Lily. That is something I refuse to let slide, Lily. At this point, my thoughts just began to flow out of my mouth like a effing tidal wave. No man is that cocky for no reason, Lily. I'm not a effing fool, Lily. You gave him some type of reassurance to give him the confidence to act like that crap. You even backed him in front of me. Why the fuck would I stay with someone who's not going to have my back? Absolutely bawling at this point, Lily says, I'm sorry, my name. I love you, I'm sorry. Y'all can call me whatever you want, but at this point, I just went soft. I didn't have the heart to keep drilling her anymore. She was just breaking down, crying uncontrollably. I just sat down in silence. My name, I'm sorry. It won't happen again. My name, I love you. Only you. I won't ever talk to him again. I won't. I promise. My name, please, just give me one more chance, said Lily. I'm completely silent. I mean, there was just a huge effing pressure on my chest. It felt like my ribcage was going to crack under the pressure. I sat there silently, listening to her crying. I remembered one of my favorite songs. I'd rather have loyalty than love, 'cause love really don't mean jack. See, love is just a feeling. You can love somebody and still stab them in the back. It don't take much to love, you can love somebody just by being attached. See, loyalty is an action. You can love or hate me and still have my back. 21 Savage? I just kept repeating those lyrics in my head over and over and over again. To many, it might seem she said all the right things, but to me, actions speak louder than words. Last night, she chose to make her decision on us through her actions, and since actions speak louder than words, It really didn't matter what she said. I'm struggling to keep it together at this point. I really did love her, crap, I still effing do, but I understood this was what's best for me. I wouldn't have been able to trust her again. You can't be in a relationship without trust or loyalty. I lost both from her. As she cries, I look up and say, "Lily, please. It's over. There's no saving this?" She looks at me and says, "My name, no, please just stop." "It's over?" "Lily," I interrupt. "Please just do us both a favor and take your things and leave. Lily, it's over. Please, let's just end it here." She doesn't say anything and gets up and starts grabbing some of her things around the apartment. I grabbed a garbage bag and helped her pack. She left the keys to my apartment on the table and left. This all finished up around 4:30 today. I've just been sitting here trying to process what the fuck just happened. Honestly, it all still doesn't feel real. I never intended on posting on Reddit yesterday, but I just needed a place to effing vent, and since it blew up, I felt like I should update y'all. Today it's 7:35 as I finish writing this. I'm effing hurt. The weight of what the fuck just went down over the last 24 hours doesn't feel real to anyone. To those who actually read this long sass update, thank you. To those who commented on my previous post, thank you. I effing needed a place to vent last night. Relevant comments. I have a question for OP. You know Lily better than any of the commenters. Do you think she cheated on you? I avoided talking about this, and as many are criticizing in the comments, I didn't ask questions. I don't know what they talked about. I don't know where she went that night. I'm left with my own imagination on that. The fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter if they engaged in sensual activities or not, it wouldn't have changed the outcome. My frustrations were never about that. It was the lack of respect she displayed towards me. I don't know if she physically cheated, and honestly, I don't care. Multiple deal breakers were broken with the information I do have. I tried to be as transparent as possible and show both sides to the best of my ability. What y'all read was my raw emotion. Over the last month, I've picked up journaling on my self-improvement journey. It really helps understand your own thoughts. Last night, I decided to post to this sub instead of my notes app. I appreciate the kind words you all have given me. I'm going to continue to work on myself and push forward. Story 2. I think my ex-fiancée, Jess, 31F, might have tried to get my wife, Olivia, 30F, drunk and cheat on me. My wife thinks I am overreacting and overthinking the whole situation. Can someone tell me if I would be an idiot to ask Olivia to stop being friends with Jess immediately? For context, Jess and I started dating during the sophomore year of our college. We met through mutual friends and connected instantly. She was charming and outgoing and made friends instantly everywhere she went. I am more shy and nerdy, but I enjoyed going out to parties with her. We got engaged on our graduation day, as both our families were attending. I got a job in a big tech company right after college, and Jess moved in with me while looking for jobs. That is when the relationship started going downhill. Jess was an art major and had trouble finding a stable job. She did a bunch of freelance work and mostly worked from home. I was overwhelmed with work. She always wanted to go out to bars and clubs, and I wanted to rest in the evening after 10 to 12 hours of work. I was okay with her going out with friends alone, and I would sometimes tag along on the weekend. It bothered me that she was still in her party girl phase. She complained that I was becoming boring and should enjoy my early 20s before we settled down. I was also not happy with the friends she hung out with, as there was a lot of drinking and substance use. Even when I went out with her friends, she would be extremely flirty with guys in her friend group. Her excuse was always that she gets flirty when she is drunk, or she was just joking. I had enough and decided to call off the engagement after 2 years, as we were just different people at that point. The breakup was messy, and she kept trying to get back with me for almost a year. There were some instances where Jess may not have acted in her best judgment, and I blocked her from all my social media. I did not want to deal with the drama and wanted to move on. I also got a transfer to another town around that time and never heard from Jess again. This is when I started dating my wife, Olivia. My wife was the exact opposite of Jess. She was very soft-spoken and a homebody like me. She knew I was engaged before we dated for 3 years and happily married for 2 years now. However, one of the sticking points we always had was my Thursday nights. 3 of my closest college friends are now scattered all across the country, and we generally play a video game together on Thursday evenings since our college days. Olivia complained that she gets bored during that time. About 6 months ago, Olivia told me she got a Facebook invite for a group where they had painting and wine nights on Thursdays. It was mostly 8 to 10 women who got together at someone's house and spent the evening painting, drinking wine, and gossiping. According to Olivia, It was just a few housewives and divorcees, and they welcomed her. One of the women's names was Jess, but I did not think much of it. 2 weeks ago, Olivia told me it was Jess's birthday, and they wanted to have a ladies' night at a club. Olivia hates loud music, but Jess convinced her to come for dinner and some drinks. That night, I got a call from Olivia at 10 p.m., asking me if I could come and pick her up. I could tell something was wrong and immediately left to pick her up. I went to the bar and went in to pick up Olivia. I was shocked when I realized that her friend Jess was my ex-fiancée. She also looked surprised to see me there. I was polite and said hello to everyone, but Olivia wanted to get out of there as soon as possible. After we went to the car, I told Olivia that Jess was my ex-fiancée, whom I had not seen for almost 7 years. Olivia was shocked to hear it, and she did not know about it. It was crazy since I did not even know she lived in the same city as us. Olivia told me Jess was the one who had started the painting group. She had divorced her husband 2 years ago and moved to our city for a fresh start. The reason why she called me was because she was getting uncomfortable with the situation at the bar. Since Jess and one of the other women were single, they kept on encouraging guys hitting on them and inviting them over to their table. Jess was trying to get everyone drunk and was asking Olivia to open up and have fun. She was constantly hyping up Olivia to 2 of the guys who bought them a round of drinks. At this point, Olivia excused herself to go to the restroom and called me to pick her up. I am not happy with the situation, but I am also not mad at Olivia. I am just uncomfortable with Olivia hanging out with Jess. I told Olivia about the same. Olivia told me that she was never going to put herself in the same situation again with Jess or anyone else. Also, this friends group is the only real social life she has since we both are in a completely new city. She does not want to stop going to her painting nights with her friends. I brought up the thought that Jess could be acting in malice, but Olivia told me she did not think Jess would know I was her husband, as Olivia never showed my picture to anyone in the group. She also said that it's been 7 years since we broke up. Jess is a kind person, and I should not judge her based on one night when she was drunk. She still wants to stay friends with Jess. On one hand, I do not want to separate Olivia from her friends, but my gut feeling is telling me something is off in this situation. Besides, it feels weird to have my ex be friends with my wife. Am I the idiot to want Olivia to stop being friends with Jess because of my gut feeling, or should I just let it go as it's Olivia's call to make? Relevant comments. Did Olivia tell this group that she was married? Because if Jess knew she was married and was trying to get her to cheat on you, even if she didn't know it was specifically you, then that is really, really scummy. She should not be hanging out with friends who encourage her to cheat on her spouse. Yes, I know this because one of the ladies in the painting group lives in our neighborhood, and she knows me as Olivia's husband. Plus, her Instagram and Facebook have all our pictures together. I also felt the same about Jess's behavior. She made Olivia uncomfortable to a point where she had to call me to pick her up. Have you tried to make local friends as a couple? It is easier to migrate to new friends than leave the only friends you have. We do have a couple of friends that we made with our coworkers. However, it's hard to make friends in a new town once you're above 30. I have one night every week when I catch up with my best friends via video games, and Olivia wanted something similar for herself. What if she takes a painting class on that night? It's her choice what she wants to do with her time. I don't want to control what she does, especially since it was not her fault what Jess did. Not the idiot, but you need to remain low-key and let Olivia process this information. The paint and wine nights are harmless, and the birthday bar night could just be a one-off. Olivia may choose to not participate in one ever again. She also knew how to handle the situation on her own, so she's not a vulnerable, naive woman fresh off the turnip truck. Trust your wife. If she gets any mean girl vibes off of Jess, she'll know how to deal with that. That is the approach I am taking for now. I do not really have any reason not to trust Olivia. It's Jess who I don't trust. However, I do not want to come out as an idiot and insecure and asking her to stop seeing Jess and, as a consequence, her friends group. She does not have a lot of friends and seems to enjoy being with others. Plus, the other women in her group seem to be nice. Olivia told me it was a lesson learned for her and would not put herself in situations anymore where she goes to bars alone. She felt Jess did not act inappropriately since she is single and is allowed to flirt with guys. Olivia just felt uncomfortable and removed herself from the situation. Who originally sent your wife the Facebook group invite? Was it Jess? If so, this all looks even more sinister. It was an invite sent via the paint and wine group. We assumed it was sent to a lot of women in our suburb. We always get such invites on Facebook from local interest groups. Jess is the one who started the group, so I cannot rule out that Jess sent it to her. My wife also has all our wedding and vacation photos shared on Facebook, so if Jess sent it, she has to know I was her husband. Update: I posted about how my ex-fiancé tried to get my wife to cheat on me 3 months ago. Things were good since then, but last week has been crazy, and I wish my wife were not as naive to let Jess back into our lives. I really need help on what I can do at this point. For reference, I broke up with my ex-fiancé, Jess, 7 years ago and have been together with my wife for 5 years, married for 2. After the night of Jess's birthday, where she tried to get my wife drunk and flirt with strangers, I had a long conversation with my wife. I laid down why I was uncomfortable with her hanging out with Jess. My wife agreed with most of what I said, but she feels that enough time has passed now where we can let things go. She also talked to Jess, and Jess told her that she had no idea about me and it's just one happy coincidence. Jess also insisted to my wife that she had moved on with her life after our breakup, found love, and, unfortunately, the marriage did not last. She told Olivia that maybe we all could go out for dinner together and clear out the issues. Jess also insisted that she was just having fun at the bar and apologized to my wife if her drunk behavior made her uncomfortable. My wife asked me if I would be okay with their friendship, as she has not found a social group in the new town for a long time and Jess seems like a changed person. She also told me that she would only meet these women during her art night and not go out on girls' nights or trips. I felt that as long as Olivia was comfortable, I should not have any reason to be worried. We also had dinner with Jess once, and Jess was very friendly. She told me about what happened in her marriage and how she is on her healing journey right now. She also apologized to me for her behavior during our last few months together. Jess also now owns a business and works as a freelance artist and graphic designer. I also was gracious, as we were just 23, and I harbor no ill feelings. My wife also started hosting art night at our place once a month or so when I had to move to my office for my game nights. Last week, after the art night, Jess and one other lady hung back, and we were all drinking wine and chatting. The other lady was asking questions about Jess and me. Jess told her that it was old history, and I went no contact with Jess for 4 years. That was the reason why she had no idea about Olivia. Olivia looked at me and asked, "Jess, you mean 7 years ago, right?" Jess said, "No, that was when we broke up. However, we met every time I came back to my hometown." I thought she was drunk, so I corrected her again, saying that it was 7 years ago and she was misremembering things. Jess said, "Maybe," and we moved on. The next day, Jess sent a bunch of photos to my wife of me and Jess hanging out. They were just innocent photos, like us having dinner, at a music festival, working out together, etc. The weirdest part was I had a few tattoos on my body that I got after I broke up with Jess. I also never owned the clothes the person in the photo was wearing. Even the photos were timestamped to 4 years ago, Christmas 2019. Olivia freaked out because we started dating in summer 2019. I did make a trip alone to my hometown in Christmas 2019, however, I never met Jess. She started asking me why I did not tell her about meeting Jess. I tried to tell her that these things never happened, but she does not believe me. She also called Jess, and Jess told her that we met because I was back in town. However, we were just platonic at that point, and it's not what my wife is thinking. I confronted Jess, and she told me that I am stupid for not telling Olivia about meeting her and also not telling her about Olivia. She says that I told her I am still single. Olivia is very angry at me. She is not believing a word I am saying. I kept on telling her that I have not seen Jess for 7 years. Olivia says she does not mind me meeting her, but I should have told her as we were together. I volunteered to show her all my phone records during that time, but they only go back 3 years on my carrier. I am confused how those photos can even exist when I never met her. They are definitely photos from when I was with Olivia, as I look more muscular in these pictures and also have tattoos that I did not have back then. I even told her she can call my friends and family and ask them about the trip, but she says that she has all the photos of my trip and my friends and family will cover for me. Can someone please help me with what I can do in this case? I need to convince Olivia that this is all false, but she is just angry at me and giving me the silent treatment. I swear that I did not meet Jess during the trip, and I'm caught up in this mess without my fault. Update: a lot of people are messaging me in DMs offering to review the pictures. I appreciate your help. I am not comfortable sharing the fake photos online with strangers. I am going to have an acquaintance who is a photographer look at them today. I had 2 people who are digital artists look at them so far, and both of them told me they cannot identify anything wrong with the photos. Also, another thing I learned after talking to a friend yesterday was that the music concert venue from the pictures was a park near my parents' suburb, and I did indeed go there with my friend for the Christmas tree event. He also confirmed to my wife that he was with me the whole time and we never met Jess there. He also shared 2 photos from his camera roll that showed me wearing a different t-shirt than the photo that Jess shared. My mom confirmed that the gym photo was taken in an exercise room at the YMCA my parents go to. My mom reminded me that I did use their guest passes during that trip. I have no idea what is going on, TBH. Update. I wrote a post a few days ago regarding my ex-fiancé, who befriended my wife months ago, lying to my wife about us meeting 4 years ago when I actually went no contact with her for more than 7 years. She even sent my wife a few pictures from the time we met. My wife was upset with me because we started dating 5 years ago, and the photos were taken 6 months after we started dating. I want to thank a lot of you for extending support and help. This has been a horrible week that just kept on getting worse. I do not blame my wife for believing Jess. Jess seemed to be a changed person from the girl I broke up with 7 years ago. I felt bad about her being in an abusive marriage for almost 3 years with a narcissistic husband. She got her life back together, was doing great with her work, and also started her own business. She had me rooting for her too, and I was proud of her journey. I could see why my wife liked her. After Jess sent photos to my wife, I tried every possible thing to prove that the pictures were fake. I showed them to 3 acquaintances who told me they could help me. None of them were able to find any inconsistencies with the photos. I also called my parents and my friend who I met during the trip. My mom saw the photo and recognized that the gym photo was taken in the YMCA gym where my parents go. She remembered that I used their guest passes during that visit. My friend also identified the park where the music festival photo was taken. He confirmed that we had gone there during my visit for a Christmas tree lighting ceremony. Things were just getting really confusing as to how photos exist between Jess and me at these venues. Jess, on the other hand, was comforting my wife, telling her she did not imply anything when she sent her the photos. She said that she was married at that time and we just ran into each other a couple of times during that visit. Jess was telling my wife to not overthink the photos and that I must have forgotten that we ran into each other. What calmed my wife down a bit was my mom talking to her and telling her that in no world would I hang out with Jess after all the stuff that happened during our breakup. Things got really messy, and there was a reason why she was blocked across everything. My wife agreed with her and told me to just let it go. However, it was just a horrible feeling as I did not have any real proof that this was fake, and I was just waiting for the other shoe to drop at any time. I finally caught a huge break last night. My wife decided not to go to her painting night with Jess and friends yesterday and told me she just wants to be left alone and read. I wanted to sit with her, but she told me to go and play with my friends as she wanted to be alone. During our gaming session, I told my 3 closest friends what happened and how there are photos of me and Jess at locations that I actually visited during the trip. The session turned into them bashing Jess, old stories, and how manipulative she is. After our gaming session was over, my friend Jim called me on the phone and told me he wanted to talk about something important about Jess. He asked me if I was alone, as he did not want Olivia to listen in. I told him I needed to go to a different room. I put my phone on speaker and went into our bedroom, where Olivia was sitting, and prompted her to stay quiet. Jim told me that he has been in contact with Jess for 3 years. He said that she was still married but was planning to leave her husband. They knew each other because Jess was my girlfriend all through college. The initial conversations were just catching up and Jess complaining about her husband. He told me Jess inquired about me a few times as she had learned I got engaged to Olivia around that time. He said that they have been talking for a while now. Jess also told him about the coincidence that Olivia was in her painting group and how she met me a few months ago when I went to pick up Olivia. She told Jim that Olivia came to her birthday and was heavily drinking and flirting with guys. She even sent him a few pictures. There were a few with Jess and Olivia together and then Olivia hugging and kissing a guy on his cheeks. I asked him to forward me the photos, and he sent them to me on Discord. Jess told him that I am still the same insecure guy and must be tracking Olivia as I showed up at the bar at 10 p.m., like a parent to pick her up. Jess did not know that Olivia had called me from the restroom to pick her up. Jess made a joke to Jim about how ironic it is that I broke up with Jess because she loved to party, and now I am married to a party girl. I asked Jim why he did not share those pictures with me before. He said that he did not want to stir the pot in my marriage without knowing all the details. I was really mad at Jim at this point and asked him what else he told Jess about me. He said not a lot, and they barely talked about me. However, Jess was obsessed with Olivia and would badmouth her a lot. So Jim might have told her a bit about Olivia, like what she does, where she works, etc. I asked Jim if he ever told Jess about our game nights, and he said he has and how Olivia complains about being bored. I told Jim not to tell Jess about our conversation. Jim asked me not to tell anyone that he and Jess are in contact. He said that his wife might get the wrong idea and he just wanted to reach out because things seemed to get really weird in my life. Olivia was listening to everything and staring in disbelief at the photos that Jim shared. As soon as I hung up the phone, she started explaining to me that these were the same guys that Jess called to their table and were buying them drinks. However, she never even stood next to them, let alone hugged or kissed them. She also pointed out that her Apple Watch in the photo was on her wrong wrist. She was also spooked out that Jess knew about her for almost 3 years and there was no way Jess did not recognize her when she joined the painting group. Olivia was also pissed at Jim for talking to Jess and backstabbing me for so many years. She pointed out the fact that Jim was missing for one day when he and his family visited us last year. Jim was gone for the entire day and came home late at night because he had to work from his office in our city. 15 minutes after our conversation, Jess messaged my wife and told her that they missed her at the painting night and she would see her next week. Her level of deceit really gave us chills, and Olivia was really worried. Olivia wants to go no contact with Jess, but I am worried that it may not be enough. I also still don't know how Jess knows about what I did when I visited my parents in 2019 and all the locations I went to. I also don't know who else Jess is talking to and sending Olivia's fake photos to show her in a bad light. It's really unnerving, and I am just thinking about how I should confront Jess and make sure she never bothers us again. Thanks again for all the help from the community, and your messages really helped me keep my sanity during this rough week. Some comments: anyone going to tell Jim's wife? I mean, there is a reason why he doesn't want anyone to know he is in contact with Jess. Might be time to file for a protective order. Exactly this. Jim's an idiot. If he wants to fuck up his own marriage, that's one thing, but to knowingly help Jess try to fuck up OP's marriage and then tell OP, I didn't tell you because I didn't want to stir the crap in your marriage. Why the hell would OP want to stay friends with someone like this? This entire saga is giving off strong bunny boiler alerts. OP better have all his security up to date. The more I think about it, Jess's first plan was to send those pictures to Jim, hoping he would leak them to me and accuse Olivia of flirting with those guys. Luckily, Olivia called me from the bar before anything went down, and I was able to get her. If she had not called me, I would have never known that she was with Jess and those pictures were fake. Jim decided to sit on those photos and not tell me. I think Jess's plan B was to convince Olivia that I was a liar and was meeting Jess while dating Olivia. My mind is really racing in all directions at this point. I also understand how stupid Olivia and I were to let Jess back into our lives. For people asking about security, I do have Ring cameras installed around my house and also own a gun. I am more worried about when Olivia goes to work and if Jess leaks some damning photos that get her into jeopardy with her work or family. I don't like to kick people when they are down, but my God, your wife owes you such a huge apology. Like an earthquake moving, hysterical bonding apology. You better collect on that once you're safe and in the clear. My wife tried to apologize many times since last night. However, I do not care about any apologies. I just want to get things back to normal and get rid of this nightmare. I can dissect who was wrong and what happened later, but I currently feel my family is in danger, and I have no idea how many other people there are out there who might have seen fake photos of my wife. For me, it is also scary that Jess knew where I was 4 years ago when I went back to my hometown. She was married at that time, and still, she knew what gym I went to, that I went to the park for the Christmas tree lighting with my friend, and she knew the clothes I was wearing, how my body looked at that time, and got all those details right. There have to be other people she is talking to.